wasn't planning on doing this video in my Harley Quinn makeup, but I've let it go too long and I need to get it done, so yeah, you get me in my Harley Quinn makeup. I was tagged by Heidi Grady in the Girlfriends Goosebumps Halloween tag, and there's a whole big list. I'll put that list down below of all these questions, and I'll tag a few people even though it's a little late. I'm sorry, I got down with the flu, so got a little off my schedule. But basically, I'm gonna be telling you a little ghost story. So, wow, this is completely unthought out. I am going to burn a little sage. Purify the air in here. So the first question that we have, do you believe in ghosts? Yes, I do believe in ghosts. Do you have any personal paranormal / ghost experience you can share? Oh yes, yes I do. Hence the burning of the sage. The year was 1995. I was on the set of a film that was called The Devil's Playground, and then it was called Raven's Kiss, and then it was called Strip Show. But at the time that I was working on it, it was The Devil's Playground. We shot this film in Amargosa, California, which is also known as Death Valley Junction. And we shot at the Amargosa Inn, which I now know is haunted. This was 1995, and nobody had cell phones then, or very few people had cell phones then. And so we weren't all on our phones, living our lives that way. We were shooting at this location that was very remote and in the middle of nowhere, and there were no TVs, and there was no radio, and there was one phone on the premises. And so I love shooting like that because it's a little like camping. You're kind of forced to really bond with your castmates and your crewmates, and it's a really immersive way of shooting, and I really enjoy that. You know, you finish shooting at the end of the day, and what are you gonna do? There's no TV to watch. So we told ghost stories. You know, we sat around and told each other, you know, campfire ghost stories, just like this. And there's always someone at the bunch who says they can sense spirits, see spirits, feel spirits, whatever. And I'm of the belief that just because I don't see it doesn't mean I don't believe it exists. And so that was where I was at. I was like, okay, well, I think there's stuff out there, but I don't see that it applies to me really any. Our ghost stories escalated, and then we started going off on unrenovated parts of this hotel and Scooby-Dooing it, scaring each other, having fun, just goofing off, you know, flashlight under the face. It was all just fun. It was just fun. Our last night there, we decided to have a seance. Middle of nowhere. We have no Ouija board or anything. So we made a Ouija board. People have told me since then that a Ouija board that you make is much stronger than a Ouija board that you purchase. I don't know about that. We opted to have our seance in my room. We really wanted the room next door because those who could feel such vibes felt like that had more ghosty energy. But the two crew guys who were staying in that room were like, we're drinking tequila tonight. We don't know what you people are up to, but we want none of this. They were not interested at all. So we had about 6 of us. And we had our seance with our homemade Ouija board in my room. And this place is funky. There were 3 huge beds in my room. It's very ramshackle. As we were asking questions on the Ouija board, we had one person who sat out and just sort of observed and wrote things down and, was the skeptic in the bunch. We asked a number of questions about various events that had happened in the place. We identified that we were speaking with a young woman who had passed in a fire, and she had tried to make contact with one of the members in our crew when he was electrocuted while changing a light bulb, or not electrocuted, but a big shock while changing a light bulb. And she said that was her trying to make contact because he reminded her of her brother, and I don't remember all the pertinent details. This was, like I said, over 20 years ago. I had my hand on the planchette, also known as the lid of a coffee can. That's what we were using on our homemade Ouija board, which was made from pages of the script that were taped together, and then we drew the whole thing out. So we're doing this, we're asking our questions, and I have one hand on the planchette, and I could just feel everything in me pulling away. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to touch it. Everything in me was just sort of like recoiling from the experience. And then I sobbed. And it wasn't me. And everyone looked up at me. And I took that emotion and I just sort of shoved it back down in. I didn't know where it came from. And I just felt this like wanting to pull away, wanting to not be involved with it. And then something started expressing itself through me, and it wasn't me, and I don't have a better way to describe that. I started screaming and crying hysterically. I have never felt such grief, and at the same time, it wasn't me. It wasn't me feeling it. I had emotions being expressed through me, but it wasn't me. And I don't have a better way to describe that. Everyone closed out, and I'm not even sure. I was very, very out of it at this point. They closed out the Ouija board, signed out of it, whatever, and I was burning up. My skin was just on fire. I was roasting. They went and got towels wet and laid these cold, wet towels on me to bring my body temperature down. And I came out of it, and I was quite shaken up, as you might imagine. I wouldn't let anybody leave my room. I made everyone camp in my room that night, and I made all the girls go pee with me. I wouldn't go even to the bathroom because I was afraid to look in the mirror. I was afraid what I might see. It wasn't me. Somebody was speaking through me. Somebody was inside of me that wasn't me. Now, there were a lot of witnesses to this. Word got out. A few years after that, I think it was around the year 2001, 2002, something like that, I was contacted by Fox's Scariest Places on Earth. They had heard accounts of what had happened to me that night. And they invited me to go back out to Amargosa with a film crew and a psychic and investigate what happened. And I will put a link to the episode of Scariest Places on Earth, which tells you a little bit more about my experience. They've got some photos and stuff that I don't even know where they're at. My skin peeled the next day. My face was like I was extremely sunburned and my skin peeled off. It was the most frightening thing I've ever been through. Going back out there with a film crew of a reality show, I was so freaking nervous. You have no clue. I was afraid of ghosts, yes, and I was afraid of what the film crew might do to get a reaction out of me. I did not stay in that same hotel room. I was in a different room when we went back there to recreate the experience. And I was only in that room for part of the night because our entire film crew evacuated the Amargosa Inn that night. Because ghosts? Well, bugs. All of a sudden, the hotel was inundated with a swarm of insects, and we had to leave. And it's never happened before or since. But somebody somewhere did not like us being at the Amargosa Inn talking about the ghosts that are there. So, yes, I believe in ghosts. There are a whole bunch more questions, and I'm going to get to those now that I've completely flipped myself out. You can see why I'm burning the sage. I don't want any ghosties in my apartment. What is your favorite Halloween or scary movie? My stock answer for that is Midnight Meat Train, because I haven't seen a lot of scary movies. I'm not really into scary movies. I make them. I don't watch them. I have life, and that's scary enough. So yeah, that's my stock answer, and it's not because I've seen all of the scary movies, it's because I've seen like 5, and that's one of them. I don't really have a favorite, but the ringtone on my phone is the theme from The Exorcist. Do you believe in the afterlife and angels? Yes. What is your favorite TV show? What is your favorite TV show or movie that features angels or the afterlife theme? Gosh, I remember there was a John Travolta movie, Michael? He was an angel? I think it was the Archangel Michael. I liked that one. I don't know that I have a favorite. Do you have a personal story that illustrates the possible existence of angels and or the afterlife, guardian angel, near death, sighting a recently passed loved one, etc.? I have had my life saved numerous times by inexplicable reasons where something has told me to do something differently, and so I did, and my life was saved. Do I believe that that is a guardian angel? Yes. Do I know the name of that guardian angel? No. But I listen when I say the voice, I don't mean a voice, there's no actual voice, but when my instinct says, you need to do something, I do it. Years ago, there was a huge bank robbery at the North Hollywood Bank of America, which was the bank that I always went to. And that morning, I had decided I was going to paint the hallway because, well, you wake up one day and you're like, I can't live with this anymore. I have to have it be a different color. So I decided I was going to paint the hallway. And I had the door open. I had my purse on my shoulder. I turned to my husband and I said, so I'm going to run by the bank, grab some cash, then I'm going to hit Home Depot, get some paint, and then I'll be back here and I'm going to paint the hallway today, and that's going to be what I'm doing all day. Hand on the doorknob. And I stopped. And I just went, no. And I closed the door. We probably have some paint in the garage. I know there's tons of cans of paint out there that I've never even looked through. I bet there's something there that would work, and I'll do a faux finish. So I went out to the garage. I would have been at the ATM that had bullet holes in it at the time that bullets were being fired into that ATM. So that is one of the instances. I have had a variety of life experiences where, had I continued with what I was planning on doing, I would be dead. But something made me change my mind. And I believe it is a guardian angel. Do you believe that people can have the gift of sight, or mediums have a sixth sense? If you do you have any personal stories that you would like to share? Yes, obviously, and I think I just did. Is it a guardian angel? Is it a sixth sense? I don't know. Can those be the same thing? Does it all come from God, Goddess, the universe, whatever word you want to use for a supreme being? Yes, I believe so. What is your favorite movie or TV show that is about psychics? Well, Medium, of course, because it was a great show. I loved that show. I thought it was awesome. Do you believe in miracles? Oh, yes, absolutely. I absolutely believe in miracles. I think that miracles are definitely something that we should keep our hearts and minds open to. Have you ever experienced a miracle or know of one personally? If yes, would you like to share the story? Don't know that I'd call it a miracle. That seems too big. But yeah, I believe. I don't know that I personally have something to share. But yeah, I believe in miracles. So these are the questions. I am going to drop all these questions down below. Give me your answers. I want to know what your answers are to these. And I'm going to be tagging a few people in this. I will drop the tag down below. I haven't told anybody about this, so it's way too late for Halloween for most of them. But yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Behave. Yeah, and Frugalista blog, I'll be tagging you, and Melissa, I'll be tagging you, and I'll probably tag a few people who will be way too big and fancy and important, and we'll go, who the heck is this Monique person, and why is she tagging me? And yeah, writing on coattails, all of that, because opportunist. So that's my girlfriend's Goosebumps tag. Have you ever seen a ghost? Do you believe in miracles? Do you believe in psychics, mediums, sixth sense? Do you have a good ghost story? Drop it down below. Let's all creep each other out. I hope you have a very happy Halloween, and I will talk to you very soon. Give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and I will talk to you later.